Okay guys, I'm going to speak about whether getting an iPad is actually worth it, if you should get it, and my thoughts and opinions on it, and why I got like the Apple Pencil that I chose or this size of an iPad. First question is whether getting an iPad is worth it. Personally, I think it depends on the part of like education you're in, if that makes any sense. So for example, when I was in secondary school, I didn't have an iPad. I functioned effectively. From my knowledge, I don't think you're even allowed to bring in an iPad in secondary school, so I don't think it's necessarily worth it. But I think in college it definitely is worth it because of the amount of handouts that you get, and you get a lot more information in one class compared to secondary school. And then also for university as well, most things are online and you're paperless, and it's just so much more easier to be organized. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get the same iPad that I got. I would recommend getting an iPad Air or an iPad Mini, as it's easier to carry and it tends to be cheaper, especially if you're looking for something that's a bit more cheaper but still gets the job done and it's still very modern and still new. Okay, this is, I guess, what most people use their iPad for, but I use it to take notes, but that's mainly like for school. But I also use it to like read, to watch Netflix, Disney Plus, YouTube, so it's almost like my phone. But I primarily use it for note taking, as I do politics, sociology, which has a lot of content and a lot of handouts, and English Lit, which again is like constantly writing, constantly taking notes. So instead of me having to like look through my binders or remember what paper I need to bring for each day, instead I've just got it on my iPad and it's much more easier and effective. The next question is, what note-taking app do I use? So I use Noteful, and I did experiment with GoodNote 6 because I know lots of people have GoodNote 6, but I just didn't think it was for me. I just didn't think it was worth spending like $10.99 a year, and I know I could have done an outright purchase of like £50. However, I didn't like the fact that when there is an upgrade to GoodNote 7, for example, I would have to repurchase GoodNote 7. So I purchased Noteful. It's a one-time purchase of I think £5 or £6. And it's like, it has all the tools it needs. I think there are certain things where GoodNote 6 is, yes, it's a bit more advanced, but I don't know, I don't think I really enjoyed the layout of it, the way how it, I don't know, I just preferred Noteful. I tried it and I just really liked it. However, I would recommend doing a free trial for like GoodNotes, Notability, Noteful, I think ChemNotes or ZemNotes. Like, don't just go off what other people have said. Definitely do research, definitely watch an overview or a tutorial, but definitely experiment with it on your own. Make sure you do free trials and check it out. Okay, as you guys may or may not know, there are 3 different Apple Pencils. There's the 1st generation, 2nd generation, and then the USB-C. So depending on what iPad you get, certain, I think, like for example, the second generation Apple Pencil is compatible with more recent models of the iPad. I would recommend getting the USB-C because especially if you are just a student, you're not doing art professionally or you're not taking it that seriously, because the USB-C is the cheapest one. It's £75, while the second generation and the first generation is more expensive. And yes, the USB-C doesn't have that like double tap change in tools feature, but I just didn't think I needed it, and I was just like, where I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna save money. We love a cheapskate, we love them. So I decided to just get the USB-C. I think like you should again read about it, research it, which one you want to use, why you want to use it, whether it's worth it, look at reviews, just because like I said, everyone's different. Don't just follow what like the aesthetic YouTubers have. Okay, overall guys, that's basically it. I guess my final opinion is that the iPad is good. It is good. I would recommend it. I don't think you need like the biggest iPad. There are definitely cheaper ones. Don't go and copy what other people have. If you don't need the most expensive Apple Pencil, don't go and get it. Get the cheapest one. And at the end of the day, make sure that you actually need it. Like if you are fine taking notes on paper, then that's definitely fine as well. And getting things like this doesn't necessarily, it doesn't determine your grade, because if you work hard, then you'll get a good grade, whether you write on paper or whether you write on an iPad. Oh, and I also don't use the like paper screen